Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
What happened to Deanne Warner? Tonight we're hearing from the family of the mother of 5, now missing for nearly a year, and police are also talking about the case. Glad you're with us for Local 4 News at 6. There are a lot of people determined to get answers about the 52-year-old who vanished last April.
Family members suspect foul play, but the Lyoya County Sheriff's Department needs more to go on, and now they're renewing their request for help from the public. Rod Maloney traveled to Tipton, Michigan today to talk to Deanne's brother, who is deeply frustrated about the lack of progress in the case.
It's an impressive sight. Justice for D signs lined up as far as the eye can see on a country road in south central Michigan. And it's emblematic of a desperate family's desire to get some answers to questions, first and foremost, like how is it possible that D could just simply disappear? April 25th, 2021 is the last time anyone saw Deanne Warner. She lived in this house and ran her own trucking company from the back barns. Her brother Greg Hardy claims she suffered with a rocky marriage, yet believes her sudden disappearance was not about any desire to escape that.
Her demeanor would more likely set the house on fire on her way out if she were leaving. I mean, seriously, she's a scrapper.
Her cell phone went dead. There's not been any activity on her bank accounts either. The Lyoya County Sheriff Troy Bevere brought in the Michigan State Police and the FBI, who conducted numerous digs and used ground-penetrating radar trying to find Dee's body.
We have not completely ruled anyone out. And I could also say that the husband, Dale Warner, is well aware that he is the primary person of interest in this. And yes, we have interviewed him numerous times.
Greg Hardy spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on private investigators gathering information, and he wants to see some action.
It's time for the authorities to gather themselves and have a serious discussion with the prosecutor and decide what they need to do. For both families' sake, they've been through enough here. As the saying often goes, enough is enough. Well, it's enough.
What Greg is essentially saying there is that he's come to terms with the fact that he believes his sister was murdered. But he also says you do not need a body to prosecute a murder. But when I spoke to the sheriff about this today, he told me that there isn't enough evidence here to even bring an investigative jacket to the prosecutor's office. So as it stands, it could be that this case is at a standstill right now. Back to you.
And Rod, at this point, what can you tell us about a vigil that's planned for Dee that's coming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, it's this weekend. It's Saturday. It's a sunset vigil, so it's 6:30 at the family farm there. They have the Hardy family farm on Munger Road there in Tipton, and they have an event center there. And the sheriff told me he intends to be there for the vigil.
All right. Thank you, Rod.
Tomorrow, a funeral will be held for Patrick Lyoya, the man shot and killed by a police officer in Grand Rapids. Today in Lansing, people gathered to demand justice and demand more information be released by police. Victor Williams live at the state capitol, where a march and rally just wrapped up. Victor.
Yes, Devin, the rally just wrapped up not that long ago, but this is quite reminiscent of all the protests back in 2020 following the death of George Floyd, with all of these people marching right up to the state capitol. And Patrick Lyoya's name is now going to be added to that long list of African Americans gunned down by law enforcement.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
When I see a brother like that on the ground, you know, I'm looking at myself.
Protesters with BLM want to make it clear justice for slain unarmed black man Patrick Lyoya, killed at the hands of a white police officer.
He needs to be arrested and he needs to be prosecuted.
As a whole, the group is asking that the officer involved in Lyoya's death be named. Other protesters at the rally, like James Henson, creator of the Young Black Panther Party in Lansing, is armed and ready for any violent opposition.
I thought it was necessary because I'm willing to do anything that I can to protect the people of the community and protect the people that I care about.
Family members of Patrick Lyoya himself sitting right out in front of the presentation at the Capitol.
You supposed to serve and protect, but you killing? Is that a part of your repertoire? Is that a part of your DNA?
Shut it down!
Ultimately, the hope is that their voices are heard and the officer responsible is held accountable in a court of law.
We really still need to change the laws that governs people, but then hold folks accountable.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
And protesters want it to be known that this was a very peaceful demonstration granting the wishes of the Lyoya family. Reporting live from Lansing, Victor Williams, Local 4.
So right. All right, Victor.
Well, today started off gloomy, but the sunshine, it's been lovely all afternoon.
Nothing gloomy about it since. Everyone already talking about a warm weekend that's coming up, but let's just appreciate now, right, Paul?
Yes, let's live in the present.
Yep.
And we will start presently with our Mount Clemens sky cam. Beautiful blue sky, nice shot at Clinton River. Man, that is gorgeous. And temperatures responded nicely. Even though a cold front came through, usually if a cold front comes through during the day and it's not an especially potent cold front, you actually do warm up behind it. It's the next day where you cool off. And that happened today here. We got well into the 60s across the area. Now it's been quite breezy out there, but breezy in 60s, that's not bad compared to where we've been. And in fact, all across the area, the winds are generally between 15 and 25 miles per hour with gusts to around 30 miles per hour. Through the evening, mainly clear skies, temperatures quickly falling from the 60s to the 40s by midnight. That's important because we have that meteor shower tonight. I will tell you exactly where and when to look coming up in just a few minutes, and this is an easy one, guys.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Paul. Today we learned when the suspected Oxford High School shooter will likely go to trial. During a hearing, the court set a tentative trial date for September 6th. Ethan Crumbley charged as an adult with the murder of 4 classmates. There are monthly hearings to decide if he should be moved to a juvenile lockup, but the judge once again decided he will remain in the Oakland County Jail.
Guns and children. New numbers showing just how deadly that combination has become. University of Michigan researchers say firearms are now the top cause of death among children and adolescents. Top cause used to be motor vehicles. This new conclusion, though, comes from an analysis of deaths for young people from between the ages of 1 and 19. And it found that gun-related deaths in that age group jumped 29% from 2019 to 2020. One researcher calls it a long-term trend and calling for continued investment in prevention programs for gun injuries and community violence.
Survivors of Larry Nassar are now going after the FBI, saying a botched investigation led to even more abuse. 13 women have now filed claims seeking $10 million each from the FBI. An inspector general investigation found the FBI failed to address complaints made against Nassar in July 2015 when 3 women first reported the abuse. Nassar wasn't arrested until November 2016. That was after an investigation by Michigan State University police. Survivors do say that gave Nassar, they believe, another 17 months to abuse his victims.
The FBI, a government institution charged with protecting citizens, failed to protect children and athletes. They put their selfishness above our well-being. And that lack of action by the FBI caused avoidable trauma for survivors like myself.
That group not suing the FBI yet. Under federal law, the government has 6 months now to reply to this claim, and a lawsuit could then follow. While the end of the travel mask mandate was literally met with cheers on some airplanes, not everybody celebrated.
Not everyone. In addition to the immune compromised and those at a higher risk from COVID, a lot of parents still very worried about what this means for their young children. Dr. Frank McGeorge here now with a closer look at those concerns. Doc?
Yeah, Sandra, Devin, there is still no vaccine, of course, for children under age 5, and those under age 2 aren't even able to wear a mask, which leaves parents rethinking their travel plans now that they know most passengers won't be masking up.
For more than 2 years, Erin Goulder has done everything she can to keep her children safe from COVID.
We're pretty COVID conscious. We're probably the strictest people that we know now.
6-year-old Quinn and 3-year-old Haven have been to parks, nature reserves, zoos, but they won't be getting on an airplane anytime soon.
If people aren't wearing masks, then we're definitely going to come up with a different plan.
Erin, her husband, and Quinn are vaccinated, but know they could still get COVID. Haven is too young to be vaccinated. The Goulders had planned to fly to Los Angeles and Europe this summer, but now they won't after the end of masking requirements on planes.
I don't understand what the big deal about a mask is. When you're in a enclosed space with that many people coming from that many different places.
Overall, children are at less risk of severe disease from COVID, but Erin says it's long COVID and the unknowns that she worries about.
My children are just starting out their lives. I want them to have the best shot they can, and if I can put a mask and put them in safer situations, that's what I'm going to choose to do.
Now, if you are worried about your child's safety on a plane, train, or public transportation, driving your own vehicle is obviously safer if it's possible. It is still not clear when a vaccine for the youngest kids could be authorized.
So, Frank, I know you're getting the question then, how risky is it for young children to fly right now?
Well, you know, the issue is that you're being exposed to a lot of people from a lot of different places. The plane itself does have high-tech filtration systems, but they're really only running when you're in the air, not on the ground.
Yeah.
And if the airport itself is generally crowded, it becomes an individual call that parents are going to have to make. And clearly, some are going to choose not to take that risk right now.
That's right.
Yeah, lots for parents to think about for sure. All right, thanks, Doc.